So 2 boundaries that I think are important personally. One is setting up a pricing model that really puts you in a position to not say yes all the time. Peace, everyone. Welcome to the Speakers Room Live. Today, we're talking about the top 3 strategies all speakers and consultants should have set up in their business for success. I'm Evolved Benton, the Speaking for Profit coach. If you're watching live, just going to put hashtag live in the comments. If you're watching in the near and dear future, put hashtag replay. And if you are not a part of our amazing community, the Speaking for Profit Circle, there is a link in the description of this video for you to go on and join. Within that amazing community, there is access to our signature course, the Signature Talk Mastery, where I break down how to get paid to speak. If you've been speaking for free at conferences or events, how to turn those opportunities into an actual fee. So if you would like more information on that, make sure that you join the Speaking for Profit Circle. We've had the opportunity to build out this course on an amazing platform called School. I really love School because it gives you an opportunity to be connected to so many various groups and people, but also it's gamified. So every month in the Speaking for Profit Circle, what we do, y'all, is we give away 3 prizes to the top people who are engaged in the community. This isn't about people who just got paid to speak. This is about people who are engaged and giving back and actually taking the content and moving it forward. So the first prize that we give is, of course, access to a phone call with me. Actually, it's a YouTube one-on-one session where I do some coaching, some strategy with you to support you in scaling your business. The second gift that we give within the Speaking for Profit Circle, just because folks are engaged and we want to be able to keep that engagement up, is an opportunity to get access to our highly paid speaker bundle, which is 4 to 5 masterclasses that we currently have that really discuss different realms of your speaking business, from how to put together a 5-figure speaking proposal to how to craft your signature talk, how to get paid to speak at college campuses. So that's all what's in that bundle. So someone will get access to that. And then someone also gets a $25 gift card, which gives you an opportunity to get paid to speak by going to purchase equipment like some of the stuff I'm using today to go live virtually, or by purchasing a book on Amazon or your local bookstore to be able to take your business to the next level. So if you're interested in joining that community, please do. Most of the folks who are probably here for the live training or for the replay are part of that community, because every Wednesday I do a live training. Unless I'm traveling or speaking or caretaking or doing other things in the world, I will do a live training every Wednesday and support folks within that space. If you're here from the Speaking for Profit University, which is our paid community, thank you so much for being here as well. I know that many of my clients that I actually work with on a weekly basis, we have a call every Monday. It's our business momentum call. And this call this month, this week, was really powerful, y'all. We really talked about how to set up boundaries, but also still being an act of a service when it comes to being a speaker and when it comes to being a consultant. So I've taken some of the notes from there, and then some of the things that I've been using the last 5, I would say probably 6 weeks, to really think about how do I want to restructure my business, especially after making it to the mid-year point. And I think that this is a great opportunity for us all to start to explore, how do we want to continue to build our businesses out? And boundaries are one of the things that allow us to do that in a really successful way. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But I wanted to do some non-shameless plugging because I am here with you all and I have your attention. So why not share with you ways that you can engage and ways that you can get more support to grow your impact as a speaker and also to grow your income. So let's talk a little bit about boundaries and what that really means to me when it comes to being a business owner. So one of the reasons that I wanted to start this particular business was because I wanted to give back. Money was great. I was like, yeah, make money, cool. But I wanted to be able to give back and support folks who didn't have the tools to be able to grow their business. And the larger goal of Speaking for Profit University is to be able to help anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 people influx the speaking and consulting industry. When we look up the most influential, when we look up authority experts within various industries, we see a diverse group of people. And the reason that I believe this was important for me is because I spent the majority of my time before becoming a business owner really, really focusing on diversity, equity, inclusion in the workplace, especially at college campuses. So when it came to starting a business, it had to be impactful. It couldn't just be, let me go and get a vending machine and fill it up with fructose corn syrup and, feed people, which no shame to that. And I looked at that as a side hustle. Actually, I think of ideas and ways to make money every day. But for me, speaking for profit, I really wanted to be impactful. But along that way, being in the act of service also meant scaling to a point where people had more access to me. I remember when I did my first cohort, I think it was 10 to 15 people, right? And at the end of that cohort, I was extremely exhausted because I didn't add on additional support. So I said, okay, one of the boundaries I'm going to set up is I'm not going to do this by myself. I'm going to actually hire someone to be able to support me. And I hired an assistant coach who is BX Barkley, who has been amazing and so supportive in this whole journey on Speaking for Profit, right? And then I kept going, kept growing, kept moving more people into the business. And what I mean by moving more people in is either they became clients, customers, or collaborators and continue to build this incubator of supporting people to scale something that was profitable and promising, right? And it's cool. It's been great. But along the way, you understand that the more people that know you, the more people think that they get access to you. And then you have different people along the trajectory of your commitment to them as a customer, right? Like some people have purchased products and you owe them digital assets, and some people have purchased coaching and you owe them time. And some people are just amazing subscribers to this like YouTube channel. If you're watching now, subscribe. And they're just really supportive. But how do you make sure that you're supporting everyone without supporting yourself? So I want to talk about first personal boundaries that I think CEOs should come up with. And then I want to talk about a few actual business boundaries that we should come up with. Because what I've learned from my amazing wife, who's good, y'all, like who is so good at setting up boundaries, but also being loving while doing them, is that it has to start at home or it doesn't really spread or go anywhere. So if we don't have boundaries within our own personal lives, if we don't have boundaries for ourselves as CEOs personally, then how are we ever going to have the boundaries we need in our businesses? So 2 boundaries that I think are important personally. One is setting up a pricing model that really puts you in a position to not say yes all the time. I had to really get comfortable with not saying yes and with people not saying yes to me, because I had to understand that there is a particular group of people on this planet, in this universe at this moment, that I am meant to serve and work with. And there's also a group of people who I'm not meant to work with. I'm not a Taco Bell. I cannot service everyone. What I need to do is find the group of people who are ready to learn, who are ready to create an impact, and who have the grit, the resilience to start and keep going in their business. I don't need to find people who are maybe just getting started, maybe interested in public speaking, but also interested in starting a hair care product, or a little bit everywhere. I need to be very zeroed in, which means that when I'm in conversations with potential customers, there's going to be some people that say no. There's going to be some people that say this is not for me. And that boundary for me is like, okay, even if that person isn't for me, I don't have to find a product, a service, a thing that is for them. Maybe they're just not my customer. And that's okay. Does that mean that sometimes business might not feel the greatest? Yeah, because who likes getting a bunch of no's? But when you get the aligned yeses, it feels so much better. So that boundary for me is sticking with the plan. That's what I call it. And shouts out to Big Sean. I love Big Sean, y'all. So if anybody knows Big Sean and wants to connect us, love to sit down, do an interview with him, and have a conversation. But he has this amazing song where he talks about sticking to the plan, and it's my jam. It's one of the things I listen to, especially when I feel like I'm not focused. So my boundary is sticking to my plan, even when the plan doesn't feel good. Even when it feels like this road that I decided to go down, it's a lot more weary than I expected. Because if I can stick to my plan and I can look at my data and I can back it up. I can continue to do things well. So that's one personal boundary. The second personal boundary is that I'm a person before I'm a business. I'm a person before I'm a business. And if you're taking notes, go on and write this down. I am a person before I'm a business. So I have to take care of myself before I can take care of my clients. And I get better at that all the time. Sometimes I have to like tug and pull with that because I very much want to be in integrity. I very much want to always over deliver, but also boundaries are important. And sometimes clients don't have appropriate boundaries. So my job as a strategist, my job as a business coach is to teach them about that tug and pull and teach them what boundaries are. So those are two personal things for me. I'm not going to go creating a bunch of products and services for customers I'm not meant to serve. I'm not going to go down on my price just because someone wants to do a payment plan or a deal, and then it puts me and my team in jeopardy. And I'm going to create boundaries that allow me to fuel myself so that I can be of service of my clients in a very particular way. Personal boundaries before business ones. I put something up on Facebook today asking people like, what's a boundary they keep breaking in business? And one of the things that I keep breaking is not working on the weekends. So I was sitting here really pondering that, like, what's the thing with me not working on the weekends? Like, where is that really coming from? Like, is it because I like working? Is it because I'm addicted to working? If you're addicted to working, or if you resonate with being a workaholic, go on and put that in the chat. Just put the word love, because we need some love to think about this. But why? And then I realized the reason that I'm not able to keep my boundary and not work on the weekend is because I'm not keeping my boundaries during the week. So one of the things that I said was I'm going to start getting up earlier so that I can get more done, so that I can work out. And I haven't been getting up early. I've been still sleeping in. Sleep is so good. I struggled for some years with insomnia. So now that I'm able to sleep, y'all, I sleep like a bear. I sleep really deep and it's amazing. But it doesn't mean I need to not get as much sleep, but I might need to go to bed a little bit earlier so that I can get up earlier and be able to make more of my day. If I make more of my Monday through Friday, my Saturday and Sunday doesn't necessarily have to be work. So when we see ourselves consistently breaking our personal boundaries, we have to investigate what's the cause of that, right? And for me, it's just been the avoidance of getting up earlier. So I got to make it through that. And then I got to ask myself, why am I avoiding getting up early? So what I'm really learning, and I hope that you all are by today's conversation, is being a CEO is very existential and it takes some deep thought, some deep processing. And this is probably a macro level conversation where unless you're really in your business, and not saying if you're not in your business because you have a 9-to-5 or another hustle, but you're really in your business in the sense of investigating how to be better as a leader, this is going to resonate with you big time.
Attention public speakers, coaches, and consultants. Ever dreamt of booking 5-figure speaking and consulting contracts? In just 5 days, I'm teaching my tried and tested system to elevate your speaking and consulting business. Forget the cold emails, bypass the salesy pitches. This challenge is about building genuine high-value connections. And here's a promise I have for you. With a commitment of just 1 to 2 hours a day for 5 days, you're going to witness transformative results. On day 1, you'll learn how to craft a business strategy without cold emails or paying to speak. Day 2 is all about you redefining your profile to attract decision makers ready to invest in your expertise. By day 3, you'll have your very own 5-figure sales system to turn contacts into clients. By day 4, we will have you automating your funnel with proven templates and scripts. And day 5, I'm going to teach you how to master the art of discovery calls with a step-by-step checklist and exclusive 5-figure sales secrets. Whether you're just stepping onto the speaking scene or you're a seasoned pro, this challenge is tailor-made for you. I'm going to teach you the exact strategies that have helped me help my clients make over $2 million in the last 2 years. The journey to a thriving 5-figure speaking and consulting business begins with this challenge. So are you ready to redefine your limits, accelerate your growth, and bask in the limelight of your success? I want you to join the 5 Days to 5-Figure Speaking Challenge now. Let's rewrite your success story together. Simply head over to speakingforprofit.com. You're going to click that button that says 5 Days to 5-Figure Speaking Gigs. so you can get started with the challenge. Can't wait to see you there. All right, now back to the show.
So let's talk about business strategies. We talked a little bit about the personal. Let's talk about the business side, because that's just as important, to be honest with you. We want to make sure that it's an alignment when it comes to the business and when it comes to the personal. So took some notes, pull them up. 3 boundaries that are essential to set, and this is for speakers and consultants, to make sure you're establishing a business with integrity, success, and that does not fail. So 1, you always want to have a clear scope of work and contracts within the business that you're doing with organizations or with individuals. A contract should be signed by every client or organization, and a clear scope of work to understand. What if we don't make it to the date and I have the project done? What if you don't show up to this meeting that you're supposed to show up to? What if we have to cancel? Do I still get paid? Do I get paid a percentage? What if I have to cancel because I get sick or something happens, right? So we want to have these boundaries to make sure that we're able to protect our own entities and businesses, but also so that we're able to continue to build relationships with the organizations we love, trust, and want to work with. Because if you have a boundary, you don't have a boundary set up, and some type of thing happens where you're not able to get the project done, or you have an experience that is unorganized, you're not able to go back to a contract and really resolve it. So I've worked with several clients, and this is wild, y'all, who have signed 5-figure contracts with organizations with no contract. Do not do that. It's very risky, and it's not a clear boundary to have. And I know creating a contract, getting your proper paperwork together can be really challenging and scary as a business owner. I get it. I totally do. But ask for help, get it done, and make sure you're protecting yourself, because you can make that $10, $15, sometimes $20,000, and it'll get eat up if you don't have the proper contract set up. So one of the websites that I love for contracting is rocketlawyer.com. One of my favorite places. I do not have an affiliate code right now. If we repurpose this video on YouTube, it will be in the description for folks who are watching this, maybe in the replay. But if you go to rocketlawyer.com right now, you can get legal support, but also you can check out independent contracts. And what I love about it is it breaks it down based off of your state. So if you're in the US, I'm not sure if it's an international company, but I know it works for folks here in the US. So if I put in Maryland, or if I put in California, or if I put in Georgia, it'll give me the different laws of protection for those particular states. So check it out. But definitely that's the one boundary you have to set up. And if there's a customer or an organization that has a problem with your contract, there are some things you can be willing to take out, move in, but there needs to be some type of contract and agreement. The second thing is you want to set boundaries around your communication channels and response times. Like, you really have to know what is your preferred way to be communicated with and what times will you be responding. This is very important when you're doing work with multiple clients. So within Speaking for Profit University, for example, we have it within our contract that we'll get back to you with anywhere between 24 to 72 hours, because things happen, right? Like, and sometimes reviewing a contract or reviewing a proposal takes more than just 5 minutes of time. Sometimes it takes multiple. And we get into a hot season, right? Where everyone is getting paid to speak and there's a lot of people asking for support. So we want to have that boundary. And the other thing that I've started to do that in the beginning I wasn't really good in business is establishing one way to communicate. So at one point, people were sending emails. Some of my clients were my friends and they would send me text messages. I was getting hit up on Facebook. I was also getting hit up in my Facebook group, and it was just too many places. So for now, primarily all of my clients, I ask them to reach out to me on the school platform, which is our community, and in the chat, and we can have a conversation there. And then if it's something that's more like customer service related, when it comes to payment or when it comes to changing a card on file, then they will email me, right? And my team takes care of the email for the most part. So it's important to have those boundaries of communication set up. One, so that you can over deliver as a business owner, which is super important, because you don't want people saying you have horrible customer service. And when you don't have these type of things set up, that's when people will say that about you. People say it about you anyways, but especially when you don't have it set up. And you want to have a clear path of communication, because for you, it's going to give you clarity on when and how to answer questions so that you can over deliver and show up with as much success as possible. This is also important when you're working with organizations. Like when they give you feedback on a draft or something that you're working on, how much time in between do you need to be able to respond? Are you going to be available the full contract? Are there some times that you're maybe going to go on vacation? Do you work on weekends or not? All of that stuff is important so that everyone keeps those boundaries together. So that's the second thing on the business side. And then the third thing is having some type of payment and refund policy. You've got to have some type of policy to understand and how to deal with disputes. There's always going to be someone who feels like they want a refund. That's just a part of it. I'm thankful because I've been in business for a while and I haven't gotten that much. Like I probably have gotten 2 handfuls in the last 4 years, which is great. I'm thankful for that. I also don't have a lot of low ticket products. I imagine when we launch our course, our standalone course very soon, that we are probably going to see more refunds, because then it doesn't have the same intimacy and touch points, and people's buyer's resistance might start to come up. And that's just a part of selling something that's a little bit more lower ticket. But I think because I'm showing up and over delivering, we have a great onboarding process. We don't get those same type of refunds, but we do get them. It's a part of it. So we have different policies built in to make sure people know how to follow up with that. For instance, in our cohort that we have graduating on August 8th, when you are currently watching this video right now, to date is July. So I don't know when you'll be watching in the replay, but we have a cohort that's graduating in August, and they had within their contract a love it or leave it for 14 days. So when they joined, 14 days after, if they didn't like it, they could leave, right? And they can get a refund. But you got to make that clear so that people know and know how to exercise it. Or if you have a membership, how do they cancel it before they get charged again? Or if it's an organization you're working with, is it a refundable deposit? You know, many of us, when we speak or consult, will have organizations pay us a deposit. Is that refundable? But making sure those processes are set up can really protect you big time in the business side. So those are the 3 boundaries all speakers and consultants should have set up in their business, whether it's on the personal side or on the business side. I thought this would be great to share because I know many of you are in it, right? You are in conversations every day with decision makers, especially if you went through our 5 days to 5-figure speaking gigs challenge and you already have the tools to go out and get your own 5-figure contracts. You're on call with decision makers every day. And I don't want you to make a mistake that can really impact your business for the long haul. So I hope that this was helpful for you. If it was, go on and share it in the chat. What are the top 2 to 3 things that you are going to implement? What's the top 2, maybe 3 things that you're going to implement from this video? And if you haven't already, please join us in the Speaking for Profit Circle. All right, it has been a pleasure. I hope you have an amazing week. And until next time, peace.